Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another meal prep video. We are just going to jump right in. First thing we're going to start with is a high protein chicken pizza crust. So I know it sounds weird, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to serve this for dinner tonight. So all the ingredients you need is going to be a can of chicken, and I like to drain mine really well. And then you're going to need some pepper, garlic powder, red pepper flakes, some onion, salt, and egg, and then some cheese. And you need a third of a cup of cheese. Now, like I said, I drain my chicken really well, and then I just kind of smash it up with a fork, and then that way it's nice and dry. So if you let it drain in a drainer, and like a strainer, not a drainer, a strainer, it will be really dry, which is nice. So I'm going to add in 1 egg. And then I'm going to go ahead and weigh out the cheese. Now I have this mozzarella cheese. The original recipe calls for Parmesan cheese, but I just wanted to use this mozzarella cheese because I already had it in my refrigerator. So I am weighing that out. And then I am going to add a teaspoon of this kind of shaker Parmesan Romano cheese just to kind of add in a little bit more cheesy flavor. And then we're going to add in our spices. Now, the original recipe did not call for onion salt, but I wanted to add in just a little bit more of an onion flavor. But we need a teaspoon of garlic powder. And I'm using a ½ teaspoon thing here. Now, the original recipe called for a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. I only did a ½ teaspoon because I know how strong red pepper flakes can be, and they are really spicy, and I am really glad that I only did a ½ teaspoon. So I highly recommend to only do a ½ teaspoon because, like I said, I did have this for dinner tonight and it was pretty spicy. So if you don't want spice at all, leave out the red pepper flakes or just do maybe a ¼ teaspoon, but I think a teaspoon is way too much for what this recipe called for. And the recipe also did not say what size of a can of chicken, but I had the large size in my pantry from Costco. So these are the 12.5 ounce cans from Costco. So that's what I used. But use whatever you have, but just maybe adjust your measurements a little bit. And then you're going to go ahead and get it mixed up really well. And then you're going to put it on some parchment paper. Now, I did spray my parchment paper with a little bit of cooking spray because I kind of just had a feeling that this would be, possibly would stick a little bit just with there not being, I don't know. I just felt like I should add in a little bit of cooking spray, so I did. And I just kind of patting it out into a, circular and just really thin. So you can see I did do it pretty thin. And this is going to go into a 425-degree oven. And on the original recipe, it says from 28 to 35 minutes. I did 28 minutes and mine came out perfect. So I would start on the lower end. My oven does tend to heat a little bit hot. While that's in the oven, we're going to go ahead and prep the BLT chicken salad. Although it's more like a BLA because we're not putting lettuce in it. We're putting avocado. So what you're going to need, again, is another can of that chicken, or you can use rotisserie chicken, whatever you like. I prefer to use canned chicken. Right now it is draining in the strainer. You're going to need some light mayo, some Greek yogurt, some bacon pieces or some bacon that you've cooked up and crumbled up, some ranch seasoning, some onion, and then some avocado. So again, the first thing you want to do is do the dressing. So we're going to do a third of a cup of the light mayo and a third of a cup of the plain non-fat Greek yogurt. I will leave the original recipe down below that I am inspired by, but I didn't follow it completely. And then I'm using this Trader Joe's ranch seasoning. I absolutely love this stuff. It is really good. So I added 1 tablespoon of that to the dressing and just mix that up really well. And then we're going to add in our chicken. As you can see, I went ahead and just crunched it up while it was still in the strainer. And that way, again, it got really nice and dry. I know a lot of people get a little afraid of canned chicken because they're afraid it's going to be too liquidy, but it's not. And now you want to give this a good stir. Now, remember anytime you're making chicken salad, you may feel like you need more dressing, but let it sit overnight before you add any more to it because it does tend to liquefy a little bit. Now, I forgot to cook my bacon, so luckily I had these bacon pieces in there. My husband loves these. He eats these on his salad all the time. So I did weigh out 40 grams of these bacon pieces. And that seemed like the right amount. I really had no idea how many grams I was going to use. but this ended up working out really well. So I did 40 grams, and then we're going to put in some green onions. And you want to stir that up. And I wanted to add in the tomatoes last just because the bacon bits I wanted to get stirred up really well as the onions. And I don't want to be as rough with the tomatoes. So then we're going to add in our tomatoes. And I just took a handful of these grape tomatoes and cut them in half. And now we're not going to add in that avocado until you eat it. And actually what I'll probably do is maybe serve it in the avocado. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. But I am going to split this into 3 servings. So on the screen here, you're going to see the carbs and the Weight Watcher points and the calories and all that for 3 servings. I will not include the avocado in that. It's just going to be the chicken salad itself. And if you do watch my What I Eat in the Day videos, you'll see how I have this salad. I bought this chicken at Safeway, and it's like the meal starters with the Korean barbecue. I never had this before, ever had anything Korean barbecue. And I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. But I'll tell you what, I cooked this up in the pan and just put it on pretty high heat to get a nice sear on it, and then I turned it down a little bit and let it cook through. I tried a piece of this when it was done, and you guys, this is so good. I could just sit there and snack on it just like this, honestly. So I have no idea what I'm going to do with this, but I'm glad I got this cooked up. I can throw it in a salad, throw it in a bowl, throw it on a wrap, I don't know, something, but I am so glad I picked this up, and I will definitely be picking this up again. For one of my lunches / dinners, who knows, whatever I have it for, I'm going to do some burger bowls. So I need some ground beef, some Dijon mustard, some steak seasoning, Worcestershire sauce, some cheese, some pickles, and some red onion. Now I finally got a cheese grater, so I grated my own cheese. I was super excited about that. And then also, when we serve this, we'll need some lettuce and some avocado. But I'll add that on when I have it for dinner or have it for lunch. I'll add those extra ingredients on. But the first thing we're going to do is going to cook up the ground beef. Now, once the ground beef has cooked through, we're going to add in some Dijon mustard. So I'm going to do a half of a teaspoon of the Dijon mustard. And the recipe called for a teaspoon of Worcestershire, but you guys, or Worcestershire, however you say it, I love it. So I ended up adding in more. And then I'm going to do a 1/4 cup is what I ended up doing. First I added 14 grams. Then I ended up going into with another 14 grams. So I did 28 grams, which is basically a 1/4 cup. So I did 28 grams of some of the shredded cheese. And then I added in just a little more of the Worcester, I don't know, you guys, I feel so silly saying that word. So that's all mixed up. And now I'm going to go ahead and add in the rest of the ingredients. Now I took the burger meat and I split it. I weighed the meat all together, and then I split that by 3. So that's how I weigh out things. So when you see the points and all that, the points and the carb count and all that on the screen, it will be for that entire meat split divided by 3. So you may come up with different values for your stuff, but this is just to give you an idea. Now I am weighing out 28 grams of the shredded cheese into each bowl. And then we are going to add in the rest of our ingredients. So we're going to add in some pickles. We're going to add in some of the green onion, some of the tomatoes. And so everything that goes on a burger, we're going to add in our little bowls here. Now, I think the original recipe that I will have linked down below, it does have a sauce with it. I don't know if I'm going to have the sauce or not. I honestly would like it just like this. I may, if anything, I may add just a little bit of mustard, like regular yellow mustard to it. Or maybe some sugar-free ketchup. I don't know. I honestly I like burger bowls with really out anything, but sometimes just yellow mustard is what I will add to it because I love yellow mustard. But for now, we're just going to add the cheese, the tomatoes, the red onion, and we're going to add some pickles. And we're going to add lots of pickles because I love pickles. I have some pico de gallo, the Grillo's pico de gallo in my refrigerator, and I thought about putting that in here, but I kind of really wanted more of a crunch with the pickles. And you guys, these bowls, look how good they look. Don't they look good? So again, check out that original recipe. It will have a low carb kind of burger bowl sauce with it, so you can use that. But again, remember these points here on the screen are with me dividing it by 3. My pizza crust is out of the oven. Now, I guess those are the red pepper flakes that made it all red on top. Isn't that interesting looking? Now, unless I just missed it, I could not find how many servings this pizza was supposed to be. So I just divided it by 2. And then what I'm going to do with it, which is what the recipe calls for, is it calls to put a Caesar salad on top. Now, this Caesar salad is a Caesar salad kit, the Taylor Farms, but I did not use the croutons. I just used the cheese and the Caesar salad dressing, and I just used half of everything, half of the dressing, half of the cheese, and then I am adding some avocado on top. So the original recipe does call for a Caesar salad on top, and that's how I wanted to first make this recipe. And I'll tell you what, you guys, I had this for dinner. This is my dinner plate. This far exceeded my expectations. I cannot tell you just how good this was. And I'll tell you again, do not overcook this. 28 minutes was perfect. It was a little chewy. It was a little crispy. It was so good. So here on the screen will be the points and the calories and the carbs for just the pizza crust. I'm not going to do for the rest of this for the whole dinner because the pizza crust was kind of the star of the meal prep. So I'm just going to add that. So any toppings you put on top, you can just add your extra points and calories and carbs and all of that. So just for the pizza crust. But I can tell you, I will definitely be making this again. I loved this dinner. It was so good, so filling. Highly, highly recommend. And that will be my meal prep for the week. Again, another easy meal prep, but I have some options this week. I still have some pizza crust to have for something else later in the week. I have those burger bowls. I have the BLT Chicken Salad. I cannot wait to have these meals, and I'm glad that I took the time to meal prep. So again, check out the recipes in the description box, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.